could not cross reasonably safely without being washed away or ending up too near Mr. Ocox. So we turned back, but ran into a couple hawks. Pearl bravely helped distract them while Chicory helped watch the group. And who was it? Was it Jerry that was invisible? I believe.
I think it was me.
Or no, it was you. Yes, it was Marigold was invisible and was checking and helping us tree hop back to Cherry Grove. We did manage to badly damage a hawk thanks to Marigold. She used magic missile and pretty much just bombed that bird out of the sky, and he took off embarrassed with a lot less feathers and very dinged up health. So we got a bunch of feathers from hawks. So Pearl is set on quills for writing for like forever.
Nice.
And we got a bunch of big hawk feathers. We don't know what we'll do with them yet, but they're cool. And so we overnighted again. We had to recharge tablets. Invisibility. Who would have recharged invisibility? It would involve staying 24 hours with your eyes shut, holding a tablet.
It's Marigold, right?
Might have been Marigold. Kind of like hanging out like a bat.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a Marigold thing.
That sounds like, yeah.
And then Magic Missile would have had to be a fast mouse. She would basically go up towards the top of the tree.
Weren't we going to ask one of the little kid mice to do it because they love money?
I believe you guys asked Kick to do it and his friends. It's like, it's a race! Go see who gets it first. So they all like have a paw on it as you help hold it out and you drop it and it's plummeting and they all are tearing down the stairs as fast as they can, giggling, squealing. Mice are jumping out of the way. They get to the bottom and it's like, they got the tablet. Kick is dancing around with his friends and the tablet is fully recharged. He thinks that was the most amazing game ever and wants to play it again. But you now have that tablet recharged. You have your invisibility recharged. We haven't had to use our heal, and we haven't had to use darkness. And we also happen to have a new tablet in play, courtesy of our new mouse. So Hazel is the newest mouse. Hazel, do you want to, I guess, explain what you do and how you came to... You would have heard and seen these mice, and you would have seen some of the... you would have known, like, Chicory and Gooseberry and Marigold, because they're Cherry Grove mice like yourself.
Yeah. Well, I think I would have been amazed at their bravery and such like anyways, and I would have expressed an interest in joining up with them because I think my mouse probably feels a little bit lost for what to do because I don't really have a job anymore. My job seems to have packed up and moved away, so if I'm understanding correctly. So yeah, I would I think I would want to be looking for something new to do and has an interest in doing something different and adventurous, perhaps. So yeah, my mouse is Hazel Birdwhistle. My background is I'm a rabbit rider. I am wise and mysterious. I have a tan flecked coat and luminous eyes. That's my character.
This sounds like a... Where do we meet? What, in Miss Blossom's in the dining area or something?
Probably. A lot of mice hang out there, and it would be reasonable, especially with how much Jerry loves the cooking. We'd be sitting down for a meal, and likely Hazel would have come up and been like, "Oh, about you."
Yes, I'm so impressed with you guys. I heard all about how you bested the Hawks. That is amazing.
Oh. Well, to tell you the truth, that was mostly Jerry, but mostly Marigold.
Marigold, you are my new hero.
Marigold just kind of squeaks.
Was it Jerry, or am I thinking of some other heroism that Jerry did? Maybe Jerry was the log. Well, anyways, it's nice to meet you. My name is Pearl, and these are my friends. We're from another tree, far to the east of here. Nearly an entire day's journey to the east. It's an old house. These are my friends Jerry and Poppy, and of course you know everyone else. But well, things aren't going too well at our house, and we need food. So we set off this way because we had heard about a new house a long ways to the north, and that there's plenty of food there, and maybe they could take up new mice.
Right. I heard you guys were trying to cross the creek how long ago was this? 2 nights ago?
I think it was like 1 day ago,
It'll
actually.
probably be a
so
night or
it's like,
two ago because we had to recharge for 24 hours.
Oh.
Yeah. Would I know if the creek has gone down yet?
Well, it depends.
You might have if you've chatted with guards.
Okay. I have no idea if the creek. Yeah.
Because the guards are up in the tree and they venture around, so they may very likely know.
I don't know if I've chatted with the guards.
Know too.
Oh, well, I'll ask Chicory if he knows if the creek has gone down, because I did have an idea that I thought perhaps might help you guys out. Perhaps we could go and visit the bunnies. Perhaps they could help us or help you guys across the creek, and maybe I could join you, help you out.
Because I think that was our plan. I think because it was we were either like gonna wait for the creek to lower it down, or we were gonna ask. I think the bunnies in the burrows were gonna help.
Because I don't know your background, I would say, do you know these bunnies? I've never met one.
Oh, sure. I am very familiar with the bunnies. I used to. I'm a rabbit rider. That's my. That was my job here before they moved away. Now I don't really have a job anymore, but yeah, I do.
The rabbits moved away?
Yeah. As I understand it.
There were 2 rabbit burrows that we were friends with, and the ones the ones southeast of here left due to hawks, and then we have the ones to the west, but we don't need as many riders since there are no longer as many rabbits.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I am a rabbitless rider.
So we do have rabbits to the west of us, but they already have assigned riders.
Mm-hmm. Mine packed up and moved away. And they didn't tell me where they were going, or did they tell me where they were going?
You just knew they had left because hawks.
Ah, the hawks, yes. Yeah.
They were done with
the
hawks.
I was kind of devastated. I was pretty close to those bunnies, yeah. But, hawks are terrible things. That's why I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed with you guys. I mean, if you can handle hawks, maybe the bunnies will be willing to help us out.
Do you think they could help us cross Glitter Creek?
Oh, sure, they're big enough. They should be able to hop across there, no problem.
Wow.
I mean, they're way bigger than we are.
Jerry, I would love to see a bunny. I've never seen one.
Oh yeah, that could be fun.
They're very soft.
Oh wow. Now I want to ride a bunny. Wait, is it hard to ride a rabbit?
No, not if it's, you gotta obviously, be on a good rapport with the rabbit. If they don't want you to ride it, that's not happening. But yeah, if you are getting along with them, they'll let you ride them, and it's not that hard. You just have to hold on. They're
Pearl has
grab
like
onto the fur on the butt.
Giant grin on her face. So wants to do that.
Yeah. They're fast too. It's like amazing. But yeah, you do need to have a pretty good seats if sometimes they can take the corners pretty quick, but in general, yeah, it's not that hard. You just hang on to the fur and cling with your grip good with your legs and get down, real low so that you're not, flopping around on the back or anything like that. And they just go. It's so wonderful. It's amazing.
Marigold is wondering if there's any way to ride a bat.
Well, if Marigold doesn't know, I don't think any of us would know in that case. Bats are just so mysterious.
Very mysterious.
What do you all think?
Hickory
Oh, go ahead.
is rubbing his chin thoughtfully. He's like, well, according to Mr. Birch, we had a day of sunshine yesterday and a day of sunshine today. So the creek has gone down a bit. Though you would still get fairly wet. And if you lose your footing, you could end up going for a little swim. But it would probably be possible if Hazel could convince the rabbits to help, that we could cross that log and they could hop to the other side, because while we can't make that jump, it would be easy enough for them. And then they just hop back. We just have to see if Mr. Birch can accommodate them with extra food for the favor.
Yeah. We should go find Mr. Birch and see if we can use some of the food for this. Let's go find Mr. Birch.
Okay, so Mr. Birch is usually found either in the food room or up towards the top of the tree, because he's coordinating workers and guards and whatnot. So as lunch is ending, you could look around the dining room. You don't think you see him, so chances are he's up towards the top of the tree.
Okay. Can we...
He has an office up there too, if I remember right.
Yeah, I remember his office was the paperwork was a disaster. And he hasn't sorted through it and everything. Is it something that we can get to and knock on a door, or is it something that's... Okay.
You just go upstairs, up to the... Let's see, where is... Yeah, you just go up the stairs to the top of the tree, and then it was down a long hall. So basically, as high as the stairs go, and then down a long hallway instead of out the door. You just go down the hallway.
Okay. All right, let's do that, and let's knock on the door and try to see if we can get his help.
Okay, so you travel up the stairs and down this long hallway and tap on this door, and you hear shuffling sound, and then like something fell over. And he comes over to the door. Oh dear, and opens the door. Oh, it's you. I was worried it might be a guard. I trust nothing is amiss.
Not with... Did you hear what happened? We just got back yesterday. There was an attack. Sure, I have the... There was a hawk attack. 2 of them.
Oh my guards mentioned you. You came back quite in a hurry. I know we'd pulled guards back because there were hawks nearby. I didn't realize you had taken one down. I assume that's what happened since you're still here.
Marigold drove one off.
Oh my. Such brave little mice. Even our guards dare not face off against those.
Well, the 2 guards here, nod towards Chicory and Goose. They very much chose to face off against them, but I never want to have to go through that again. But anyways, we met Hazel, and Hazel was saying maybe her expertise with the rabbits might be able to help us get back to the creek and get across it. We couldn't get across it the last time we got there. But we were wondering if we could have some food to trade with the rabbits.
Well, I
like
suppose we could.
cherries.
Oh, they like
Sorry,
cherries. Well, I do
they
suppose we could
love
share a
cherries.
little. We happen to be harvesting quite a few, and I'm sure Miss Blossom won't miss too many of them, considering how many we get a year. Yes, we could send you with cherries, give you a little paper to go. Well, actually, I don't need to send a message to a Mausritter because I have Hazel right here. So, Hazel, you can just explain to the rabbits that we shall give an extra day's rations of cherries to them in exchange for their assistance if they are willing.
Oh, I'd be happy to tell them that.
Do have a rabbit hole to the west. You would probably know where this is. Near the berry patch, and they would likely be working near the berry patch to the west, where they harvest blackberries and wild raspberries.
They also like blackberries and wild raspberries, but I think adding some cherries would probably make them very happy.
Indeed, I think they may go for it. An extra day's worth, double a day's worth is good. So I'll send you over, and Hazel can communicate fine with the rabbits and the other riders. And the rabbits are fairly reasonable. I'm sure they would probably be willing to lend assistance.
What's his office look like?
It's a mess. There's papers everywhere. You're pretty sure they've moved around but haven't disappeared. And he has a pile of something that looks important on his desk.
Oh no.
Right around.
I look at the office and I look back at him and I'm like, well, thank you for your help and best of luck to you. And then I wind the corner.
He passes before you disappear. He hands a signed note to Hazel to give to the other rabbit riders, as it's like an official statement from Mr. Birch saying that what you say is okay with Cherry Grove.
Okay, take it. Thank you, Mr. Birch.
And thank you, Hazel. It's been amazing to have you helping out, and well, I'm sorry you have no more rabbits, but I hope you shall find good luck and good fortune on this journey for yourself.
Thank you. I do too.
Yeah. So I'm guessing we're heading towards the rabbit colony next, or is there anything else we wish to do?
So while we're on the way, Marigold wants to know more about the rabbits. She's been in Cherry Grove for a while, but she's really never gone to talk to them. That was always kind of a rabbit rider job. So do they speak a different language? Do you have to learn the rabbit language to be a rabbit rider?
Yeah, we have a way of talking to them. I pull out a little tablet and hold it up. We use this. It kind of looks probably like tablets that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not rodents, so they don't speak the same language that we do. So we have to use that, or they wouldn't understand us.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Where did that go? Walking through the grass in the orchard. It's a lovely day outside. It's sunny and the ground has dried out. And you walk. How far would that be?
Not sure if this helps, but on my very poorly made map, it says it's 30 minutes to the tree stump, but that could be entirely wrong because I don't remember when I wrote that or not.
Yeah, I got 30 minutes, but it's a burrow. The stump
Oh.
is 2 hours away to the south.
Easy. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah,
Was
sorry.
that the haunted
So-
burrows we heard about, or?
Yeah. It was the abandoned ones that are supposedly haunted now.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So where
So
my
it
bunnies
is
would
about
have been.
30 minutes to the west. You don't have to walk all the way to the burrows, though, because, as luck would have it, they are currently hanging out in the berry patch with their little wagons, as the mice are harvesting blackberries and raspberries and filling the wagons, giving some to the bunnies to nibble on while they're hanging out.
Do I know any of the other? I must know the other rabbit riders there, right? So I'd be like, hey guys.
You would probably know. You guys would probably know each other because you went through training or hang out at lunch.
Right.
So
So I'd
you'd
be like, hey
familiar with them.
guys, how's it? Yeah. How's it going? Me, Hazel.
They smile and wave excitedly at you, and some of them pause, and even some of the berry pickers notice you guys, and they're like, "Ah, hey, look, it's those brave adventure mice." And
Pearl looks behind her. Instinctively.
What were-
Everybody looks
you
at
have
Marigold.
You have a rabbit rider in particular who hops down and kind of scurries over to you and gives Hazel a big hug. It's like, oh my goodness, it's so good to see you. What are you doing here? And you know this mouse, her name is Rose.
I'm like, Rose, how's it going? Mr. Birch has sent me. I have a mission, and I'm gonna hand her the paper.
Ooh.
Very important. Well, as luck would have it, we've almost matched our quota for the day. The berry bushes are very productive this year. I suppose we could probably stop early in a little bit, and you could go talk to the rabbits and ask if they'd be interested, and we'll just haul the produce back to the cherry grove, and then if they're willing, just leave the wagons there tonight, and they could help you over to Dimwood.
That sounds great. Do you guys need some help? We could always help you if you need a little bit of assistance in getting, all the berries in for the rest of the day or whatever.
Well, we do have some loose ones on the ground, and if you could help some of we have a couple little mouselings running around grabbing them, but if you could help grab those and toss them into the wagons, then we could get done faster and get you on your way.
Sounds
Very
good.
well. Berries.
I was just gonna say, I'm gonna grab a few and I'm gonna put like one in the wagon and feed one to the rabbit and one in the rain, feed one to the other rabbit.
The bunnies are very fond of this.
Pearl actually
I'm like their favorite rabbit rider.
Nice. Pearl does not want to actually work and stands awkwardly for some time until she feels more awkward with everybody else doing stuff and goes over and starts like, because the thing is that she's a drawer mouse and is a what do you call it, like a bureaucrat or a scribe. Like she makes maps, so she doesn't do stuff like this. And she reaches to get a hold of a blackberry, and they're blackberries, right?
Blackberries and raspberries, yeah.
And she doesn't know what to do with that, so then she it explodes the aggregate, parts of the berry, and she's just got the inky black stuff on her hands, and she's like, oh no, now she's stained. This is not her area of expertise.
Poppy is trying to help, but also fascinated, and she's curious how a fresh blackberry tastes, because ones at Greyhouse were never this juicy. So she's putting some in the wagon, and then little bits. She's like pulling off the little balls off the blackberry and sticking one in her mouth occasionally just to see what it tastes like, and notice that they're a lot more sweet and a lot more tart than she was expecting. But these are amazing berries.
Yeah.
And Chicory is a guard mouse, and so he is really not sure. He just feels out of place, so he's like just standing guard because, well, that's what I do. Gooseberry's excitedly running around because hey, do something new, and trying to pick up and see how many he can carry without dropping them.
Yeah.
You do happen to see an old friend in the trees who, I believe, trying to find his name, and I'm not finding his name. But I believe it was Frond that was a berry picker. Pinecone was he was one of the mice involved in the pantry thefts.
Yeah.
But he is back at work, and he's being an honorable mouse and having no more dealings with the rats or such things. And he sees you, and he's excitedly waving at you all, and chucks down a berry for Jerry to catch. Everyone cheers.
It lands on Pearl.
Oh no! Sploosh, sploosh.
Blackberry.
No.
Okay.
Pearl's outfit is ruined.
Oh no! What color is Pearl?
Pearl is gray,
Oh,
with
Anymore.
flecked spots.
not
Yeah, it shows up very
Yeah,
vividly.
black.
Yeah,
that's what I thought she was gray. No, poor Pearl.
she looks like she's been in like a. I almost said something really bizarre. I'm gonna say a violet rain. Yeah. Looks like she's been drenched, but berry juice.
And Jerry calls it to Frond. Frond, throw the next one a little to the more to the left. I'll catch it.
Ron tries another
So you
berry.
better take some cover.
By this point, the wagons are getting pretty full between the little mice and Goose and Hazel, and I'm guessing Jerry is helping. Poppy is
Oh, Jerry,
slowly
yeah, he's helping.
She may have eaten more than she put in the wagon.
Mhm.
And her paws are completely purple, as is her face now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Hazel's popped a couple in her mouth too, because they're very tasty. Can't resist.
The wagons are full, and they offer you a ride either on the wagon's back, but they offer Hazel a ride on the back of a rabbit. Rose offers to let you ride with her.
Awesome.
You haven't gotten to ride for a while, so.
It's been a while. What's the name of Rose's rabbit? Does she have a name? He'd have a name.
Her rabbit's name is Bramble.
Bramble, perfect. I'm gonna give Bramble a good scritching all up the cheek and rub the ears, and they're gonna hop off. Hopefully,
Out of
Bramble's okay with
curiosity,
that.
what do rabbits do when they're happy? I would guess a nose
They
twitch. I don't know.
Thump, thump,
They-
thump.
They actually, yeah, they can thump, but they twitch. They will actually twitch. It's kind of funny. Their little bums start to. It's the funniest thing.
I always kind of thought that whenever they are happy, they kind of like make this honking noise or something, where they
They'll
are like,
They will do that too sometimes. They'll make kind of a noise too. They also make that when they're mad, so sometimes you can't tell if they're happy. And then the thumping thing. They'll thump sometimes when they're happy and thump sometimes. Yeah. But the twitching is generally a sign of pleasure. They're quite happy when they start to twitch. And they'll twitch if they eat something really good too.
I still find it a little hilarious that they will actually have they'll throw fits. So whenever they're angry, they'll do this large just thump with their feet, which is the.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that Bramble isn't thumping right now.
Bramble's doing happy twitches, and
Happy
she's
twitches.
she's really happy. She's feeling kind of pampered, especially after all those blackberries she gave her. She's having a good day, and she's loving the little twitches.
Purple all around her mouth.
Little purple mouth and purple paws because she was stepping where there was blackberry juice, and just a happy bunny. So they hop back to Cherry Grove and unhitch the wagons, and Rose talks to Bramble and some of the other rabbits and have this little conversation, and she looks at you and says, well, they've agreed to help you out, especially for cherries. We're paying them in blackberries today, so they get both, and a whole wagon of blackberries and a whole wagon of cherries will be delivered to their rabbit hole tonight. But they've agreed to help you hop across. Especially happy since you took down a hawk, from what they've heard, and they're just really willing to help someone that would do that.
They feel most safe around us, ironically.
The rabbits are willing to give you a ride now, so are you wanting to head straight out?
Yeah, I think we have everything, right?
You have pretty much all the supplies you need. You recharged your spells.
Yeah, let's go.
It's probably mid to late morning. The sun is... I'll say it's, yeah.
Like, it'll
10 to
be
11
like
a.m.
noon or
And the
sometime
sun-
like early afternoon by the time we get to Glitter Creek.
Yeah, but it'll still be day. And it's, like I said, the sun is out right now, so...
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright.
So, Poppy and the others are looking to Hazel because they want to know if there's a proper way to mount and ride a rabbit. They don't want to offend anyone.
Right. Well, I guess the appropriate way to approach them would be to, I mean, kind of similar to a horse, to be totally honest with you, because they're saying that they're herbivorous prey creatures, so they're always really nervous about. I mean, obviously, I'm saying this as out of character, but you would approach them, politely, and to offer your hand to let them smell you and get to know you, and give them a nice scritch on the cheek, and be friendly to them and everything. And then when it comes to climbing up on them, you just basically have to grab onto the fur and just climb up on their back and on their shoulder. And I mean, they know they've done this many, many times with us. They know the routine, so they'll kind of get down low enough, with their paws forward and scrouch down low so you can get up there. You don't have to you're not climbing a mountain or anything, right? And then just hang on to that fur right behind their neck and make sure you're gripping really well because they can be very fast. But I'm wondering if I should use my be understood right now. If probably a good idea, right? We can talk to them.
Rose did talk to them, so they know what you want to do and
Okay.
where you want to go.
Okay, so I'll just hold on
if
to
you
it
get
until...
on them,
yeah,
she used her tablet to talk to the rabbits. So all you'd have to do is get on the rabbits and give your gentle "let's go" noise that they're familiar with, and they'll set off because they were already told what route to take.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're
awesome.
faster than mice, so you guys will get there faster than you would on foot. You just have to hold on.
Stealthy like ninjas too. Yeah, hold on tight. Okay, well I could demonstrate, so I'm gonna go over to, I assume Bramble's still there, right? And I'm gonna give Bramble a nice little scritchy scritch on the cheek and and give him a little bit of a she can put her ear down or her cheek down so I can get in and give her a good scritch, and then I'm gonna climb up on her shoulder and give her a little stroke on the ears and hold on and be like, come on, let's get up there. So whoever wants to hop up behind me.
About 5 rabbits, so 1 to 2 of you per rabbit. So you won't have to overburden them too much. But
okay, I'll get on with Hazel.
Okay.
I'll be like, I'll put my hand down so you can grab onto my wrist if you need to climb up.
Okay, I'll kind of climb up. Marigold has never rode a rabbit before, so it's kind of an awkward climb up, and the bunny might lose some fur. Marigold apologizes.
I'll give her some extra ear rubs just so she's like,
yeah,
she'll forgive you.
Pearl,
Hickory insists on helping Pearl up and Poppy.
I look for, something maybe on on thistle or something to use to wipe myself off, and then probably get licked by the rabbit instead. And then, yeah, or at least sniffed around, and then I start climbing up after I've wiped myself off. So I don't want to stand.
You thoroughly wipe yourself off on a nearby dandelion leaf.
I'm amazed by the fur. Like that's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Other than someone calling upon the bat gods to smite the demigods of my world. Other than that, the bunny fur is a close second.
Yeah, I'd imagine because when you get down to grab on, the fur probably comes up to our elbows. You know what I mean? It's gonna be really long. So when you get your hands down in there, it'd be like wearing mittens, like so soft and fluffy.
It's like riding on a feather bed that moves.
Yeah, that's right.
And when Jerry gets on his rabbit that he decided to hop on, he's trying to see if he can maybe operate kind of more like a wagon or something. It's like, okay, so from what she said, just scritch out here, where's the thing that makes it go jump? And he's searching the ears, everything. He's like, okay, scritch here. Maybe put down this path of fur here. So he's still trying, he's trying to learn exactly how. Let's see, how do I make this thing go? He's just trying to process how she does that.
Poppy climbs up with Pearl. She's a little nervous, but she's like, well, Pearl's up here and I'm up here. We'll be fine. Chicory climbs on a rabbit, and Gooseberry, I'm guessing, Marigold has found a rabbit to climb on.
Yes, I got up with Hazel.
Okay, that's right. So you're all on a rabbit, ready to go whenever Hazel makes the go noise.
Okay. Well, I'll just lean forward and do a little, sound like that, and that's the go noise.
And their ears kind of twitch and perk up a bit, and then they take off. You just got this big surge as they go, and you're like grabbing onto their fur a little tighter. They make really good time, and they don't take the path that you guys always had to take. They seem to just instinctively know their way to Glitter Creek, probably somewhere where they get water to drink when it's slower moving. And they head to Glitter Creek, and they continue down the bank until they get to that stump where you originally met the not-so-pleasant rats. And one at a time, they hop onto the stump. But they never stop. They just kind of hop, and you're just like, oh my god. And then they jump across the water, which is considerably less than yesterday.
Having the time of her life. She feels like she's flying. She thinks this must be what it's like to be a bird or a bat.
Kind of like a bat. If you close your eyes, you could imagine I can't put my arms out, but if I do this, I have wings.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hang on, Marigold.
The rabbits all make it across, and they stop on the other side, and they go towards where the grass is, just because there's a little more cover there in case they need it, and pause to allow you all to get off.
Pearl goes, that's it? And she gets off, though. Yeah.
They made the whole thing so easy, and yet it was so frightening and awesome at the same time.
Hazel is going to be the last one off.
Gooseberry is just like, oh my goodness, I thought bats were cool, and Hazel, you have the most amazing job in the world that you get to hang out with these amazing bats. They're so cool. I don't know which is more awesome, a bat or a rabbit at this point. They're just wow.
Well, I don't have that job anymore, but maybe again one day.
Who knows? Maybe you'll find a rabbit somewhere else that you can call your own again.
That's true. That's true. Maybe that's what I'm. Yeah, I'll see. I'm gonna go. That's right. I'm gonna see if I can find a new rabbit to be my friend. A new burrow of rabbits to be my friends. That's what I want.
So once you're
Hey,
all off. Oh, sorry.
So Jerry was just saying, hey, maybe there's one near Newhouse. Who knows?
Ooh,
Oh, maybe.
maybe there's a lot of produce there.
Where there's gardens, there's rabbits.
Oh yeah, a lot of produce there, according to the rumors.
Mhm.
Before they leave, Bramble gives Hazel a quick little muzzle goodbye, and just as quickly as they came and dropped you off, they are gone back over the log and through the grass, and you just see little bumps of fur hopping away.
Little white tails. Or big white tails from our perspective.
I like how for us it would have been like a skill check or something just to cross Glitter Creek, and that's like assuming it's not raining. But for them, it's just like they just go right over it, and it's just like wow.
You flew. It's so far as close to flying as Marigold's going to get.
Yeah, so far.
So you crossed over Glitter Creek, and you are now standing, and you notice the brush is but it to approach the forest. And we're seen before, and things are covered.
Oh,
It's getting darker. It went from bright sunlight noon to it's noticeably darker the further you go in. Right now you're facing the forest, facing north. Which direction are you going to go?
the directions we had, first of all, Pearl is going to clutch her berry-stained blouse and jacket and shiver and not like this turn of darkness at all, and start questioning things, have her compass out, and say, maybe we should have taken another way. Maybe we should have not come this way. But they said that we should go straight through these woods. It says it's across the creek and straight through the woods until we find stalks of corn.
It is pretty dark. Marigold's a little hesitant inside, but she doesn't want to show it. So she kind of straightens up and says, "Well, then let's go north, yes?" And starts marching forward.
Poppy's ears are a little down nervously. They're kind of like tucked behind her. But she's, well, dark, but if we can't see the sky, that likely means Oakhawks and the Hawks can't see us down here. And look at all the stuff there is to hide in. So maybe it won't be so bad.
Well, I mean, like, cherry girls get, like, trade from other mice farther north up here, and they travel through here all the time, so it surely shouldn't be that too bad if they're able to come down here every so often. So let's just keep going north and see what we can find.
So we go north.
Okay. So you are continuing through this forest. Oh, you're walking over these hills that are basically giant tree roots coming out of the ground, and there's thick ferns. Even though the ground is super soft with the moss and the fallen leaves, you find it make it harder to walk, slowing you a bit as you go. you keep hearing the sounds of birds up high above singing, and other sounds you can't quite identify, crunching or rustling of leaves. But overall, it's mostly just a hushed sound, like everything is just dimmed. You are venturing north. Let's see what time it is. It's been... I lost my sheet. Oh, there it is. It's noon now, so you have one more watch to travel. That will get you... Okay. So you are able to travel through the forest. Heard things rustling a couple times, but the birds keep singing, and so far so good. It's been a while, and it doesn't seem possible, but it does seem to be growing darker, and now you're starting to feel hungry and tired. Gooseberry's wondering if it might be dinner time.
So what is that about? I don't know, 6 hours or something?
Zia Watch is about 6 hours.
Okay, 6 hours. Maybe we should set up a camp and have some dinner.
Dinner does sound pretty good. I have to admit, we've been traveling all day, and there's quite a lot of excitement, so I am feeling a bit hungry.
Okay.
Yeah. Berries are like tasty, but not particularly filling. They don't sustain you for very long, so food sounds good.
They're good when you first eat them. They don't last when you keep on walking.
Yeah.
Except for on your clothes, and Poppy's looking down at her purple paws and her little tunic. She's like, I've got berry splatters, and I'm going to smell like a blackberry for life.
It'll come off eventually. And then I'm gonna look at Pearl.
I while we're camping, are we camping?
Yes, you'd probably want to be looking for a spot to camp or have food. As you look around, there's lots of ferns. There's a tree stump. You notice it's more like a crag, like a stump, but it just continues up and it goes tall and breaks off. And there's a big hole towards the top of it. And then down on the ground, not too far away, there's a partially hollowed out log.
Should we send in is it Chicory or Gooseberry, who's the scout, to just check it out, make sure there's no current owners of the space, and then see if that's a good campsite site for us?
Can't remember who's the sneakiest now. I think it might actually wasn't it actually Marigold now?
Marigold and Goose are equal with Vex.
Okay. Yeah, Marigold will go check it out if you want.
Nope,
Maybe just
Marigold
a
is actually
bat.
higher Dex. She has one higher.
Oh,
Okay. So is it a roll? Or do I just wander over there and peer in?
If you're going into the log, yeah, you can just walk in.
Okay. I'll kind of go and kind of circle up to it from the side and then pause, my nose twitching, and creep up real slow and peer over the edge of the whiskers forward.
Okay, so you're going into the log, and it's kind of mossy, and you notice there's lots of leaves in here, and it's got kind of a strange smell. And in the dark, you see a flat-faced creature with a blunt nose, and he has all of these strange pokey things coming out of like long pine needles. And when he sees you, what in the bee's wings are you doing here?
Well, Marigold, despite her earlier attack on the hawk, is not particularly very aggressive. So when she sees the unexpected creature and hears a shout, she just kind of squeaks and bolts. There's a monster there! A monster! It's covered in spikes! All twitching and nervous and collapsing in panic. She might as well have seen an owl.
A monster, you say? said Chicory.
Oh, it's terrible! It's terrible! It's horrible! It's a mountain of thorns that moves! And it spoke! Oh. It said something about bees? Marigold didn't really hear all of what the creature said.
Gooseberry's kind of curious, but kind of nervous. Like, well, do you think we should talk to it? It would be helpful to have a guide, but on the same point, we don't want something to eat us.
Well, I mean, if it's willing to talk to us, it might eat us, but if it spoke first rather than try to eat us first, I feel like we might have probably a better chance, especially since we're new to this forest. Plus, we do need to find a place to eventually settle down. Jerry will try talking to it at least. Like he feels like a little bit up for us because he's just curious about from the description. It's like mountain covered in thorns and spikes. He's just confused by the whole mental illness image, and he just wants to know what Marigold saw.
Hazel's just gonna kind of support poor Marigold and try to calm her down a bit, try to get a little more sense out of her. Like, a mountain of thorns and speaking. I've never heard of such a creature. And just try to see if maybe we can give a better.
We'll try and give you some more information, but she didn't really see a lot. She wasn't in there very long, and she's kind of distressed. So you get a lot of squeaks out of it.
Willing to go with Jerry to investigate if he wants, because he's kind of curious. Poppy's a little nervous. Well, we may want to. I don't know. What do you think, Pearl?
Pearl is clutching her. She's been going over her map. Something about it is bothering her, and she's looking around and shivering. The berry ink is dried on her now, so she looks like this. I don't know, like a mouse covered in product. Where it's just spiky mouse, matted fur. And she's just and her mouth is constantly open, her friend comes back, new friend, and says that there's a spiky monster, and she's terrified and speechless. And keeps bumping into people and walking sideways.
Jerry will go ahead and take Gooseberry, since it's probably a good idea to have, at least someone, to back me up, in case if things do go south or not. But, yeah, Jerry will take Gooseberry and go to the place where Marigold apparently seen this monster and see if you can try to talk to it.
Okay. So, Goose follows you up, and Poppy's a little nervous, but she kind of follows behind for moral support. And she really wants to see if what Marigold said was true, because she can't picture an animal that looks like it's covered in pine needles or sticks or whatever. But she's peeking behind, but mostly behind you. What do you say when you get up to the log?
So when we get to the log, Jerry will call and say, "Hello there. Apologies for intruding. We're a bit I wouldn't say exactly we're lost, but we're a bit new here. We were hoping if it's not too much trouble, if we could either get some directions or possibly a little bit of assistance in finding a place to sleep, that is." if it's not too much trouble, Mr. And I assume he's not able to like see into the log right now. He's just kind of calling out and basically trying to be like trying to coax it out a little bit.
The name is Iris, the animal snapped. Irisism dorsatum. But I just get called Iris. What's more, I'm a grump. And whatever you are, you woke me up.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry about that. We were just looking for a place to sleep ourselves. I apologize for that. But as I mentioned before, we are a bit lost, needing to find a place to sleep, at least for the moment. You wouldn't happen to know of a good location off the top of your head we'd be able to bunk down for the night at least? Or, once again, I apologize for being so rude and waking you up, but any help you could provide with us, we'd be out of your spikes as soon as we can.
Hide? Why would you need to find a place to hide and sleep?
Well, it's because we're small and we're mice, and that's a lot of things typically like to eat us. And well, as far as we know so far, there's not a lot of things that that like to eat us here inside the forest, but still we'd like to be safe. And well, it's just better to be safe more so than sorry.
Well, I suppose you'd better find a place safe to sleep. Meat eaters are jerks. You ever notice that? I mean, did you ever meet a meat eater who wasn't loud and angry and, well, never mind. Well, this is my house. Though I wouldn't recommend sleeping out in the open.
Alright, so I don't suppose you know any type of empty, log or any type of clearing we're able to hide under for the night at least, or anything that comes to mind?
Well, definitely not near here. The jerk that lives in that crag. Angry, scruffy old owl. And at this, he comes out of his log. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. And he goes out. And he yells out at this log. It's not log, it's more like this tall, the tree broke off up high somewhere. Says, "Hey! Alcox, you in there?"
Oh my gosh.
And at this, you see an owl's head pop out of the log.
Well, Marigold's just gonna be cowering under the nearest thing.
Yeah.
This is just too much for her.
Diving for whatever cover I can find.
Mr. Ocox is eyeing you all with interest, except his eyes settle on this big, pokey, angry, cranky ball. "What do you want?" Mr. Ocox demanded. "I've got some friends here, and they and I don't really like your kind being here." And at this, Poppy is kind of she's not sure she should go near the pokey thing or away from the pokey thing. Ocox just kind of stares at Iris, but he's not leaving his tree.
I'm gonna get behind the pokey thing. I'm gonna put the pokey thing between me and the razor sharp thing. Multiple things.
Poppy says, "Don't make him mad. He rules this forest. He rules everything. You can't make him mad." "Ah! You call yourself ruler of this forest?" Iris yells at the owl.
At this point,
Here,
you're He tries to get Eris to say, Eris, I really appreciate your concern. What would, how about if we paid you in like food or anything? If we could just let this ordeal pass behind us and we could just go on our merry way. Would that be all right? You go back to sleep. Okos back to sleep. We just keep on going and just find later our own camp further down.
Mr. Ocox is, by the way, eyeing some of the mice. He recognizes from the look of your clothing style and the type of mouse, he recognizes some of you as his Greyhouse mice, especially Poppy. He has seen her. And he looks at Eris. Some of those mice belong to my territory. They are mine. You have nothing to do with them. And Eris yells, Listen here, Ocox. These mice have as much right as you do to go and do whatever they want, and you don't get to mess with them or tell them what to do. Get lost. And with that, the owl kind of does his angry grinding with his beak, and he just kind of glares at all of you. But he makes no move to come towards any of you. And he kind of sulks back into his tree, pouting. Oh my goodness, Eris, what did you do? Now he's so mad at us.
I don't think we can go back to Greyhouse without some, like, I don't know what, but I think moving the rest of the mice just got exponentially harder.
I've been thinking about that, Jerry. Are you gonna eat us, Mr. Really Large Spiky Person?
Eat you? Why would I eat you?
Well, everyone else seems to like it.
Listen here. I don't know what your name is, or what you are, mice, or I don't know, whatever, but I'm a vegetarian. I eat plants, and I go where I want and do what I want. I don't eat mice.
Well, sir, we probably aren't going to make it through the night with that, with Mr. Alcox out there. Is there any payment we could provide just for temporary lodging?
Payment? What, with pips or acorns or whatever you eat? I'm
Don't
not
we have
interested.
honey-covered something? That would be a treat you would like.
Poppy looks at me. Is there anything that you like, that you think is amazing?
Or is there any problem that we could help with anything? We're actually very capable mice, we should say. We took care of some rats, we warded off a fox, and just recently we did manage to escape from some hawks. So if it requires like a favor or anything that you could ask a big favor from us, we'd be able to handle it.
At this, he kind of gets this dreamy, faraway look in his eyes. Well, I don't need any enemies to dealt with. I take care of them myself. But there is one thing in this world I love. What would that be? Poppy asks him. Salt. I love salt. I'm crazy about it. I know it's not probably good for me, but I don't care, and I love it. Any kind of salt. Do you happen to have any salt on you?
Salt?
I don't know, do we?
No.
Was that your signature?
Would I even know what that is?
You might vaguely have a memory of it being discussed in stories, but... Now, I'll tell you, I know where some is, but I can't get to it. But I'll make you a deal. I will do a favor for you if you do this favor for me.
Where's the salt?
There's a place up north from here, a bit northwestish. Newhouse, they call it. They have the most amazing thing. A giant wood, not a tree, but a big wood stick in the ground. And at the top of it is the most delicious, amazing, heavenly chunk of salt you have ever laid eyes on. They waste it on the deer. The deer come up and lick it. I can't touch it. So I will do you a favor if you can get that for me.
It just so happens we're headed that way.
So I say, like, if this works in favor for both of us, if we're able to find Newhouse, we can find that thing for you. We go ahead and get it for you.
Well then, what is it you want of me?
Well, right now, we'd like to be able to live through the night without that owl possibly eating us.
Yes, and maybe some help getting to Newhouse. It's a long way, and we've never been there. It sounds like maybe you know the way.
Oh, I know the way, all right. And that owl won't mess with me. There's nothing that'll mess with me. Nothing that sticks around, anyway.
It's the sticks. Oh. Sticks.
I'll tell you what. You can sleep in my stump for tonight. But not over there, because that's where I sleep. Mr. Ocox won't dare come near this opening. If he knows what's good for him.
Is his bed tidy? Is it nice? He said over
It
there.
stinks.
Oh no.
It's a pile of leaves.
Stinky bed.
The entire
Pile of
log smells funky, like...
What's his name?
You can't even put a name to this funky smell. You've never smelled anything this pungent in your life. And but it's safe. So he offers you shelter in his log for tonight, and tomorrow morning he will set off early in the morning to show you what he wants in exchange.
Okay.
He's fair.
Let's do it.
Alright.
I guess I should mark off some rations.
Yes, you would all be using a ration tonight. Or you could use a ration from your beetle. So I don't know if you want to use one on you or if you want to use one from the beetle because you guys filled him up with food.
And I think
Okay.
every ration has 3 uses. I think. They have 3 little dots at the bottom of them.
Yes, then they do.
Okay.
Yeah, they all have 3 dots. So you get three uses for a ration. It's dark. It's a bit chilly and damp. But you are safe to eat. You're pretty sure if you glance out, you can almost see these glowing eyes staring at you. As he's
You
sulking
stay away
in
from the
his tree.
entrance.
But he won't leave his tree. He just stares.
He's just standing there, menacingly.
He's
Per-
kind of leaning over to the other side. Do you suppose, even if we get to Newhouse and find a path, that we could get the mice there with Mr. Ocock still around?
Who said Poppy says that?
Mm-hmm.
I get my map out and I show that it's 12 hours to Cherry Blossom. It's 3.5 hours to the log and 6 hours to here. And, you know, Pearl probably can't do trigonometry. But, you know, I would imagine not every mouse in Greyhouse is a young mouse. Or even of age. So she says, I've been keeping track of our journeys, and where we met the skunk, and where the road is, and where you said Bannock Hill is, Poppy, how far the tree line is, and I don't think the mice in Greyhouse can make it here. I don't think they can do it. Not with Mr. Olcox there. I don't think they can do it.
So essentially what you're saying, Pearl, is in order for at least most of the mice to be able to even have a chance of reaching Newhouse, we do have to have some way of dealing with Mr. Olcox.
Dealing with Mr. Olcox? You mean, maybe make a deal. Yeah, maybe he would understand. She looks like desperately toward Poppy. Maybe Mr. Olcox will. He'll come around. We were running out of food. He'll make a new deal with us.
Poppy is kind of just nervously standing there, and she pulls an object out of her bag. It's a little earring. You may recognize it because it used to be worn by Ragweed, her boyfriend, before he was eaten. I don't think we can make a deal. I mean, I got this the day we had the meeting with my father, and Mr. Olcox made it clear that, well, no good end will come to me as long as he is there. And I fear the fate for all of us now would be the same as Ragweed. He does not honor his deals, and well, we'd be dragging our new friends down into this too, Hazel and Marigold, and do you think we can deal with him? We've already seen his deals with Greyhouse, and I don't think there's any way he'd let the three of us go after what was said by Earhead.
I'm with Poppy on this one, and honestly wish for the way Mr. Olcox is staring at us right now, as a matter of fact, and the way Eris stood up to him, which honestly just seems amazing. The fact that any large creature like Eris of all things stand up for us, that's a strange feeling right there. It just feels like Olcox wouldn't care for any type of new deal we present to him, and I kind of fear for the mice at Greyhouse because, well, he got angry after that one time he got that he thought his deal was being crossed. Now they sees us here. What's he gonna do to the other mice now that he thinks that more mice are leaving? So as much as I want to be optimistic and maybe try to talk him down, I kind of afraid that that's maybe not possible. But maybe if we found more creatures, maybe, or maybe like made deals with other creatures, like Eris, for example, we could at least maybe persuade them or have them be.
Marigold thinks the solution is bats.
Bats too. That could also be a potential option. Yeah. So yeah, if we find more creatures, we could maybe persuade Olcox to leave us alone, possibly, or to look elsewhere. But I'm not really seeing any type of option for us to be able to talk to him, because right now, he doesn't look like he wants to talk to us.
Well, someone needs to go tell the mice in Greyhouse not to come this way yet.
I doubt with my father in charge that many would try. They would most listen to him. But we certainly can't go back. And I mean, I have to get to Newhouse, because if I don't, our whole family will be ruined. I'll be ruined. I can't go back. Going to Newhouse would prove that that what we did on Bannock Hill, Ragweed and I, that it had nothing to do with Mr. Oakhock's refusal. I feel deep down there's another reason he doesn't want us to go. There's a reason he doesn't want us to spread out. I mean, what if we had spread out and we found Cherry Grove? We found these other places that don't have the same respect for him and don't view him as some wise and benevolent owl.
Well, Poppy, Marigold isn't really familiar with your situation, but she feels bad for Poppy, so she'll kind of pat Poppy on the back and tell her that, well, Poppy, it seems he's seen you already, so the damage is done, so as it were, and we certainly can't get back to the Greyhouse if it's as far as everyone says it is. So we're close enough to Newhouse. We'd best continue. I think that's the only path forward.
Another thing to note is like Volcox has seen us, so we can't go back to Greyhouse. But what if a mouse from Cherry Grove were to go to Greyhouse and try to warn people or try to help them out? Maybe. I mean, because Volcox doesn't know all the mice at Cherry House, and even if arguably he knows the mice he's seen here, but not everyone at Cherry Grove, if someone was willing to help out or try to send a message to Greyhouse, they might be able to help out, at least send a message to them and let them know about it.
Goose, though, is curious. He says, well, I don't know about this owl. He seems no different than a hawk or any other predator to me. I don't give respect to such things, but you have his attention. And it's unlikely that he's going to ignore your movements now. And if his focus is on you, then it won't be back on your family right now.
Oh,
Which
no.
will make
True,
our
there's only
job
one.
harder, but it could protect them.
Oh, no.
There's only one of him, so
You're right.
So right now, our safety is in numbers and bigger creatures.
Well, Marigold, I suppose maybe you're right, and we have a way to get to Newhouse, so we can at least learn the truth of what you've been looking for, Poppy.
Okay, well. And at that moment, you hear Earth grumbling. My goodness, will you balloon ears be quiet and go to sleep so an old grumpy thing can get his sleep?
Let's listen to the nice big spiky thing. Let's all go to sleep.
Yeah, I immediately at least pretend to sleep.
I mean, he's keeping us safe. Let's humor him for that.
Yeah, Marigold's still not sure about the spiky thing.
So you sleep the night away, a little uneasy because you swear you can feel a glare on you. And indeed, while you were talking, Mr. Oakhox also has good hearing, and he could hear your conversation. And he's not sure what he feels, but he's pretty angry. And when you wake in the morning, it's dark. Earth wakes you all up. It is ridiculously dark and still smelly. And now you are not only covered in blackberry juice, but you smell like his log. So you smell amazingly bad.
Smells like home.
You get up and he's hustling. He's like, come on, let's go find that salt. And you leave, and you can literally see these glowing eyes just staring out of that hole at you. But he does not dare come down. He just kind of glares at Iris and glares at you, and then he slinks back into his crag. And Iris is literally just barreling forward. You really have to run to keep up with him. He has literally no fear. He does not got his noise. His quills are like rattling around like a bunch of sticks. And he's just pressing on through this forest. Very, very enthusiastically.
Eventually, Poppy works up the courage to ask. This is in the morning, right? Is that right? Uh-oh.
Yeah, pre-dawn, right?
Lost her again.
Oof.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
So
Uh-oh.
it's early in your life, except for maybe Chicory and Hazel would have, because she was a rabbit. And you can swear as you're moving through the woods, you see a fox here, there, and a rack, and they turn tail and run.
Well.
While trying to catch up with Era's everything, and Jerry's just amazed at just like Era's whole attitude and the fact he again like this whole like he does what he wants and no one really messes with him. As he's trying to like deal with it, he tries to like have a conversation with him. So Era's, I was actually really wondered actually, what actually are you? I think you said you were I didn't catch that earlier. I think you were like I think it said a crawl or something. But what are you?
What am I? Don't they teach you mice in your schools? I'm a porcupine, of course. Well, in our schools, sir, no, we weren't taught about porcupines, sir. The mice, if you're from Cherry Grove, you know exactly what a porcupine is. So when he says that, you're like, oh.
Marigold kind of feels a little abashed at not having recognized a porcupine, but she's never seen one. She'd only heard it described, so her mental image was a little different.
Pearl eventually works up the courage to ask. And his name is Irisism? Irisism? Is that right?
His name, let me see if I can go back to find his name again. I lost. Oh, Erethizon dorsatum.
Erethizon?
Erethizon. It's Latin. I can't pronounce it.
That's wild. Erethizon.
Izon.
Izom. Erethism. Whoa. Okay.
N at the end.
Oh, an N. Okay. Okay. Mr. Erethizon. I was just wondering, why you said that you couldn't get the salt, and why is that?
It's a smooth post. There's no branches, and it's up high. I can't reach it. Only those deer can, and it's a waste on them. They just lick it and leave.
Oh.
Only I could fly or climb, but
we're pretty good at climbing.
Smooth. It's this strange, hard, gray wooden post. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't even know that it's wood, but I can't get up it. But I am fulfilling my end of the deal, so therefore, you will find a way to get this for me.
Clever mice, I think we can.
Honestly, between dealing with this issue and dealing with Mr. Olcox, I say this is probably the better deal, so we will certainly do our very best to get you that salt.
Well, that's good to hear. And he continues on his brisk pace. It is getting hard to keep up with him. Poppy's starting to lag behind a bit. And
I like to think that Hazel's having a hard time keeping up because she is just not used to like running after. She's used to riding on the bigger creatures. She's gonna come up out of breath like.
Oh, they're kind of out of breath, and as Hazel and Poppy are almost like standing and like bent over and trying to breathe and then trying to run again, out of nowhere, Mr. Ocox dives down and
Oh
tries
no.
to grab both of them.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And within seconds, all of a sudden, there is a big ball of pokey porcupine and swinging his tail, which causes Mr. Ocox to let out a very loud hiss as he suddenly is forced to change directions. And he disappears. You don't see where he went. He just disappears into the darkness.
Oh wow. I'm probably flat on the ground.
Poppy's like laying in a ball. I'm close enough to him that I won't get stabbed, but I won't die.
His tail swinging over our head. All right, thank you, Mr. Earthism. Thank you so much. My little mouse life just passed before my eyes.
Marigold can't imagine why you would want to listen to such a creature. She doesn't understand why the Greyhouse mice respect and follow Mr. Okex.
You say that out loud?
Yeah, Marigold just kind of squeaks. She's kind of in shock, so she's just kind of squeaking. Oh, it's so horrible. I can't imagine why the Greyhouse mice would follow such a creature. It's just like the hawk all over again.
This just makes Pearl look ashamed and just looks at the ground as she walks. She's questioning everything as well. She's about to convert to the bat god, so.
Gareth kind of leans over and you see she's a bit sad, and he knows you guys are talking about this, figuring out this all. He says, well, some creatures aren't worth trying to figure out. If they bother you, what I say is you swat them with your tail and move on.
I pick up my tiny little 3/4 of an inch long tail.
You're right, Pearl. I shouldn't hold your tail against you. And with that, he sets off on his brisk pace again, and Poppy's just... He's just running northwest-ish.
Yeah, I was going to ask what direction my compass is pointing.
Yeah, your compass would be pointing from where you were. He's running kind of northwest from where his log was. It's been... You don't know how long it's been. In reality, it's been about a watch, and you start noticing up ahead. You swear it's getting lighter. You can hear the birds. Probably be quiet if there was a predator. Been about what time would it be? That was my brain. It'd be about 10 a.m. and you're coming out of the forest, and you happen to see a grassy area where you're guessing it's grassy, but the plants are getting progressively shorter, and the trees have the spot where they just stop. It's not even like a natural, like them thinning out. They just stop. and you come upon some grass and let's see. I lost that. There it is. Where is it? For my mouse is pretty wide, open area.
You were.
And on the other side is this strange. Oh, did I freeze?
Yeah, you were freezing a little bit, but I think what I got so far was that we it's the forest is opened up into a wide area. I think that's what I got so far.
You come across a bit of grass and then this wide area of just dirt, smooth dirt, almost unnaturally so. And then on the other side is the strangest tree you've ever seen. You've never seen anything like it. It's just tall. It's a green tree that just goes up, and there's just all these leaves, and there's so many of them. It's just like as far as you can see, and they have these strange shaped, big round ovally things with yellow fluff hanging off of the ends.
Wow.
And you've never seen anything like it, and it's just as far as you can see across the road. Iris continues on into this strange forest. He says, just a little while now, we're almost there.
Oh my gosh, is this corn? Also, has the forest, the Dimwood Forest, has it ended?
Yes.
Okay.
It ended on the, so you had the forest, and then, let's see. Let's use a different color because it won't blend well. Okay. And you have this grassy area right here. And then you have, where are you? You have this strange, and then you have a cornfield. It is these tall, strange, greenish trees. This way, you are crossing through that way.
Okay. Okay, got it. I'm like, wow, what strange trees.
Us Cherry Grove mice haven't seen it before either.
You recognize the fluff as something they brought down, and they would occasionally bring down the leaves as well. They mentioned that it is from a corn stalk. You used the leaves for like flooring or sturdy fabric type things, canvases for painting. They're also really good to tie stuff on and drag. They were just very, very durable. Think of like a mouse version of canvas. And the tassels were just soft, so like a luxurious pillow or costumes, just different fun stuff.
Okay.
You can't really feel the corn, but you can recognize the leaves of the tassels.
Right, okay. So I'd probably point out to the others if they were kind of being amazed by it, and I'd be like, hey, I recognize this stuff.
Yeah. You guys trade with the mice up here, and Cherry Grove would know that up here somewhere, because it was mentioned that they were near corn, Cherry Grove mice would know that there is a mouse colony up here that you trade with.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, I'd tell them about how the mouse traders bring that stuff, and
So you go through this little narrow section of corn, and Iris stops just on the other side and is staring. Like he's literally drooling, and he's completely dazed out and staring. And you see out, it is the greenest, luscious grass you have ever seen. It is just beautiful. And out in a little distance, you see this strange, tall, narrow, smooth-looking gray tree. And it's kind of round and very smooth. And then at the top is this ginormous, like, you weren't picturing it this big, chunk of white. You're guessing it's salt because that's what he was talking about. And it's this big, round thing of it at the top of this strange gray tree. And other than that, you see grass. You can see a bright, huge, huge red structure in the distance too, off to the northwest. It's bigger than Greyhouse. And it looks really nice. And Iris says, well, I brought you here. You see the salt. And if you continue past the salt, you see that red thing. And right next to it is Newhouse. So I have brought you to Newhouse. And this is where you fulfill your bargain. You know where to find me. Or I may check back from time to time. But that is what I want, and that is what you promised. I'll see you again soon. And with that, he turns around and flicks his tail and walks off. And as he flicks his tail, you notice a couple quills just like loosely popped out and are laying on the ground as he's walking back into the corn.
Well, we'll pick those up. Those look interesting.
They're interesting. You notice that they have, they're kind of softish and whitish at the part where they connected to Iris, but the other end, you touch it and it's like, oh, super sharp, and it has some barbs on it. Almost like it could be used as a weapon of some kind. They're very, very strong, like you can't break it. And they're really, really long.
Are they heavy? I mean, relative to a mouse.
No, they're not heavy. They're just awkward. I think I have pictures of her with them.
Oh.
So it'd be like a mouse spear if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like a mouse version of a long spear, essentially. Yeah.
Yes. They're pokey, and he had a ton of them, and nothing wanted to mess with him. So you have, I'll say you have 4 of these.
Nice. Well, a fascinating journey, and no one's dead yet.
I know, I can't believe it.
We could